A man is seen panting, sweat dripping down his face. His chest armor is dented and scratched as he sits on the cold cave floor, gripping his sword tightly. A long scar runs down the left side of his face. He looks exhausted. "I should be preparing for retirement by now," he mutters. "What am I even doing here?" He stares into the distance, wondering why his life turned out like this, why he could never grow stronger, why he's still struggling after all these years. Suddenly, three monstrous silhouettes emerge from the darkness of the cave. Their massive bodies creep forward, glowing orange eyes piercing through the shadows. Low growls echo as they reveal their sharp teeth. The man's eyes widen. He's already at his limit. And now more monsters show up. With a tired sigh, he slowly stands up, scratching the back of his neck. "Seriously? Can you guys give me a break? I'm exhausted." He tightens his grip on his sword as the monsters close in from both sides. His mind drifts to his peers, warriors far stronger than him. People his age are called sword masters, sword gods. But him? They call him the sword geezer, the senile swordsman. And honestly, he's starting to believe it. As the dragon-like creatures charge, he charges forward too, forcing his tired body to move. He fights, but his thoughts are elsewhere. Back to his childhood. Back to the day everything ended. He remembers standing frozen as a monstrous creature grabbed his mother. She struggled desperately, screaming his name. "Sang-yoon!" Tears in her eyes, blood on her face, she tells him not to be afraid. She says she'll be fine. She tells him to run. But he couldn't move. He just stood there, watching as the world around him collapsed. People screaming, buildings falling, monsters everywhere. Everyone who felt like family, gone in an instant. That day was called the Great Collapse. The sky itself broke open, and monsters flooded into the world. Sang-yoon thought he was going to die too. Until, in his final moment, a mysterious swordsman appeared. In a single flash, the monster was defeated. The swordsman looked down at him and asked calmly, "Are you all right?" Sang-yoon couldn't even speak. He just cried. For the first time, he felt like a miracle had happened. Back in the present. Now 55 years old, Sang-yoon slashes through another monster, finally cutting it down. Its massive body collapses to the ground. Ever since that day, he wanted to become like the man who saved him. He gave everything for it. Years of battles, countless wounds, endless suffering. He fought goblins, orcs, beasts, demons, but no matter how much he fought, he never felt strong enough. Another memory flashes through his mind. He's kneeling on a battlefield, holding the swordsman who once saved him. The hero is dying in his arms. Sang-yoon screams. Once again, he couldn't protect anyone. Back in the cave, he drives his sword into the ground and leans on it, breathing heavily. His body is shaking. His armor is broken. His muscles burn with pain. "I'm getting way too old for this." Then, stomp. The ground shakes. Stomp. His heart sinks. A massive dragon stands before him, towering over his broken body. Power radiates from it. This isn't something he can handle. Sang-yoon lets out a weak laugh. "So this is how everyone finds out I'm a failure." The dragon opens its mouth. Light gathers inside as it prepares to attack. Sang-yoon can't even raise his sword. He just thinks about his life. No friends, no family, no dreams left. Everything he ever was, shaped by loss. He exhales slowly and gives a faint smile. What a mess my life turned out to be. And as he stands on the edge of death, only one thought remains. I wish I could rewind time. The sun peeked through the clouds, casting a golden light across the battlefield. Below, the aftermath of carnage was clear. Dragons and corpses littered the ground, remnants of a brutal fight. The gigantic dragon that had once towered over Sang-yoon now lay defeated, its massive body sprawled across the terrain. Sang-yoon stood atop the beast, his sword plunged deep into its skull, the sheer force of his strike leaving the monster lifeless. A notification appeared in front of him. "Congratulations, you have cleared the Elder Dragon lair." Sun Yun's body sagged with exhaustion. He was battered, bruised, his armor dented and scraped from countless battles. His chest rose and fell heavily as he let out a long, drawn-out sigh. "I'm almost 60, he muttered aloud. "Why do I gotta keep busting my ass like this?" He slid off the dragon's snout, the weight of years pressing down on him. "My name is Sun Yun Shin," he declared, voice weary. For 30 years, he had walked a lonely path as a swordsman. 30 years, and he had never managed to break into the top 100 domestic rankings. Abroad, he was practically a nobody, dwarfed by the sheer talent of players around the world. Suddenly, his gaze caught something unusual. Whoa! A skill book dropped. A book appeared before him, bathed in a piercing blue aura. He paused. He had devoured artifacts before, but a skill book? That was uncharted territory. He stared at it cautiously, and then a blinding flash erupted around the book. A system notification appeared. The constellation, the late-blooming scholar, has made an appearance. Through a swirling portal stepped the constellation. Long blonde hair, glasses, a suit and hood, a book in hand. Sang Yun's eyes widened in surprise. The constellation tried to speak, but the words were incomprehensible. All Sang Yun received was another notification. Late-blooming scholar praises your hard work, especially impressed with your decisiveness and finishing move. It became clear. This scholar was bound to Sang Yun by contract. He looked up at the constellation, laughing softly, a small, genuine smile breaking through. "Thank you," he murmured. The constellation, pleased with itself, muttered something in its own language, a faint, knowing smile on its face. A window opened, displaying the constellation's effects on Sang Yun. Plus 100% to all artifact and title effects after level 850, plus 200% after level 900. Sang Yun frowned, a bead of sweat running down his face. He was level 650. These bonuses were far off. "You've got to be kidding me," he muttered. Then the constellation issued a command through a system notification. "Try to devour the skill book." Sang Yun laughed bitterly. He had been about to try it anyway. Covered in bruises, dirt, and sweat from the battle, he raised his hand toward the book. Light erupted, blinding and brilliant, as he attempted to devour it. Memories flashed before his eyes. In his younger years, he had tried everything: boiling, roasting, even melting the artifacts to see if he could absorb them. Each attempt failed miserably, leaving him frustrated and wasting rare jewels, weapons, and artifacts. 30 years of research, 30 years of failure, all leading to this moment. Now, at level 650, standing over the book, he finally realized he needed to synchronize his mana with the artifact according to its tier. The devouring process triggered, the book glowing with radiant light. Still, Sang Yun scowled. He had learned this skill far too late. Everyone else had mastered their powers from the beginning, while he, nearly 60, had only just unlocked this ability. The light faded. He was left holding the book normally. Confused, he muttered, "I thought something was going to happen." He tossed the book aside in frustration. The constellation hovered above, concern etched on its face. "There is no available information on the skill," it said, its expression showing genuine worry. Then it suggested gently, "Try again. You have plenty of time." Sang Yun's face twisted with fury. "Excuse me? Plenty of time? What time do I have? 60's just around the corner." Tears brimmed in his eyes, his voice shaking with anger. "If I'd had a kid at 30, that kid would already be 30. I'm old enough to be a grandfather. You probably don't understand. Human lives are short." The constellation apologized sincerely, bowing slightly, but Sang Yun waved the constellation off. "No, you've done nothing wrong, Mr. Scholar. It's my regrets. My whole life is full of regrets." His gaze drifted into the distance, thinking about the sight of the hero that saved him in the past, the man he worked his hardest to be like. "I'm just too old now. If only I were younger." The constellation's expression shifted, smirking. Sang Yoon's lips curved into a faint, tired smile. "I'll be retiring soon anyway," he said, "so you should find someone else to bond with." Suddenly, the constellation smirks, unleashing a swirling beam of light. Reality twisted and melted around him. Sang Yoon sat on the ground, bewildered, his face contorting as everything drooped and warped. This was the last thing he remembered as a 55-year-old. The constellation's smiling face, everything melting and disappearing around him. A notification appeared. Using the essence researched for years, late-blooming scholar initiates, return the time, rewind. 4 days later. On a television screen, a handsome man in a suit and glasses spoke confidently. "Dungeons are the foundation for a player's development," he said. A woman of noble bearing replied, explaining gates and realms, and the fact that dungeons are the foundation for a player's development. She also mentions how they are linked to other dimensions which are unknown realms. "I'm really back," Sang Yoon, now in his younger body, watching the broadcast. Dark hair, blue eyes, 25 years old again. He smiled faintly, polishing his blade. "How nostalgic," he murmured. 4 days had passed since he regressed, but the fact that he had returned 30 years into the past still hadn't sunk in fully. On the day of his regression, he awoke on his small bed in his tiny apartment, messy and familiar from 30 years ago. He tried to process the miracle. Thinking back, the constellation's beam had rewound time, giving him back his youth, his memories intact. "Whatever," he muttered, determination sparking. He was ready to get started. Back to the present. In his hands, he flipped the dagger of Venamos, a bronze artifact. One-handed, plus 17 attack, plus 10 dexterity. A note described it as highly durable for self-defense. Most would dismiss it as a low-tier bronze dagger, but Sang Yoon knew better. Hidden within it was a skill. He activated his devouring skill. Sparks flew as the dagger levitated between his hands. Notifications popped up. Calculating stat absorption rate. Base rate, bronze, 10%. Usage duration bonus, plus 10%. Final absorption, 20%. He didn't care about stats. His goal was the hidden skill. Another notification. Initiating monosync with Dagger of Venamos. Suddenly, Sang Yoon was transported into a dark mental realm. His hair whitened, and an immense aura erupted from him. This was the gap of unconsciousness, the space the mind travels to when devouring an artifact. Nervously, he muttered, "I get nervous every time. I never know what dish I'll get." A dish appeared mid-air. A notification announces, "The absorption of Dagger of Venamos is ready." It's roast chicken, golden brown, surrounded by cherry tomatoes and a sprig of rosemary. His eyes widened. Relief washed over him. No swampy centipede soup today. He bit into it, savoring the moment. Notifications flashed. Absorbing Dagger of Venomous, plus 2 dexterity. Acquired hidden skill, Demon Bash. The dagger disintegrated, fading into nothingness. Sang Yoon awoke back in the real world. He patted his stomach, satisfied, though lamenting the dagger's disappearance, not that he was going to use it anyway. He turned, with a smile on his face, excited that he now has a skill he can use. Sang Yoon heads out the door. In another scene, a massive portal, a blue shining gate, stands in the middle of the road. Armored men are around, preparing for a raid into Dungeon 85. This is the team of Daegong Yoon. A man comes running. "Captain! Captain Yoon!" Captain Yoon looks annoyed. "Oh, the mule captain. What's going on?" The man says, "One of our people hasn't shown up. He's a newbie, joined 3 days ago. His name is Sungyeon Shin." Captain Yoon says, "Oh, Sungyeon, don't worry about him. I decided to include Sungyeon as a player on the team." The mule captain says, "Wait, a mule? Someone supposed to just carry the bags. Is going to be a team player?" Captain Yoon smiles. "I gave the final approval. Is there a problem?" "Of course there is. He just awakened his powers a few days ago. He didn't even graduate from the player academy. How can someone like that be part of a player team?" and he'll get loot even though he's not high level. It's not fair. Captain Yoon says, "That's enough. I have everything figured out. Don't question my intentions. Remember, our party does performance-based loot splitting. If Sung Yoon doesn't perform, he doesn't earn anything." The mule captain laughs, scratching his head, and backs down and gives Captain Yoon an apology, light sweat forming on his face. Captain Yoon glares at him with mild annoyance on his face. Taking a tablet from another night, Captain Yoon says, "Most people around here are losers. Give them a chance to talk, and all they do is spout bullshit. And they really want to whine about fairness." The knight asks, "Why did you take him in?" Captain Yoon says, "Come on, you two? Think about it. We've got nothing to lose if he dies. When the mule sees that, they'll finally learn to shut up. This way, our team market value also stays up." The captain and his subordinates laugh. They do not think a level 1 can do anything significant. Now Sung Yoon enters. "Hello everyone, my name is Sung Yoon Shin. I'll be working as a player starting today." The team glares at him with intense and angry expressions. Meanwhile, the captain and his subordinates stare and smirk. Sung Yoon thinks, what a warm reception. But not surprising. He stands nervous, sweating slightly, as the team stares at him without hiding their hostility. The captain approaches the newbie. "Sung Hyun, right? Good to meet you. I thought you'd be late on your first day. Is this your weapon? A greatsword?" Sung Yoon scratches his head, laughing. "I've watched a lot of MeTube videos on using one. I'll manage." Captain Yoon says, "The greatsword is one of the toughest to handle." Sung Yoon raises his fist. "I'll take care of myself. You can count on me." The captain laughs, slaps him on the back, clasping his shoulders. "That's the spirit, boy." Sung Yoon notes that even though the captain appears warm, his expressions are somewhat condescending. Captain Yoon says, "You've got some real man in you, just like me." Then he shouts, raising his hands, "Time to get the raid started." All party members raise their hands and shout in excitement. Now entering the gate, some carry bows, axes, staffs, swords. Mules carrying backpacks are at the back. Captain Yoon instructs them to wait near the entrance until everyone is inside. The raid members laugh and chat about how many kills they'll achieve. Sung Yoon strides confidently through the gates. Captain Yoon watches, thinking that learning through MeTube is ridiculous and laughable. He thinks Sung Yoon is treating dungeon raids as a joke. Captain Yoon expects an orc dungeon according to the walkthrough he received. Orc dungeons are known as the Wall of Regret for newbies. He smiles, thinking Sung Yoon is naive and will learn the hard way. Suddenly, blue blood stains the floor. Axes penetrate, debris everywhere. Orcs lie dead. Captain Yoon is shocked. Sung Yoon stands in front of the team with the gigantic long sword, an intense aura surrounding him. Massive foes face him, yet he stands confidently among the dead orcs, looking back. The raid team are left in utter shock by his skills. Orcs were monsters that frequently appeared in fantasy games, novels, and movies. Because they were so familiar, people carried one fatal misconception, that orcs were weak. But orcs were far from weak. They were unintelligent, yes, but extremely violent. Compared to dragons, they might be considered weaker, but that was exactly why newbie players always acted overconfident when facing them. They forgot that orcs charged headfirst into danger, utterly relentless and prone to aggression. A hunter stepped forward, blade in hand. "Here I come!" The orc struck faster than he anticipated. Massive hands clamped around his face. Confusion and terror twisted the hunter's expression. Standing at an average height of 8 feet and weighing over 400 pounds, 181 kilograms, the orc's strength was undeniable. The man flailed, screaming, "Let go! You big... Ah!" His sword slipped from his grasp, useless. Blood splattered as the orc crushed him, and the hunter realized why these creatures had earned the nickname, the Wall of Regret. Captain Yoon led the raiders through Dungeon 85, his armor gleaming under the faint light. Sang Yoon trailed toward the back with the mules behind him. "Yo, rookie!" a raider shouted. Sang Yoon glanced over. "We're not going to make it easy on you just because you're new. Better take care of yourself, the man said. A mule carrying supplies scoffed behind Sang Yun. Look at him, acting like a real player right after awakening. How pathetic, he spat to the ground. Insolent little twerp. Sang Yun just smiled, scratching the back of his neck. I'll try my best, he said, calm and unfazed. It's enough with the trying my best crap, the first raider snapped. That won't get you anywhere with those measly skills. Sang Yun smirked. He said nothing, then tilted his head. I can take point if the monsters show up. The man blinked, thinking he misheard, before noticing a massive orc charging from behind Sang Yun and the pack-bearers. Finally, his first real battle since the rewind, Sang Yun thought. He drew his greatsword. I'll take this one, he said. The raider charged with his shield, clanging as he intercepted the orc. You're a moron! Way too slow for a greatsword. You're going to get yourself killed. Sang Yun waved it off casually, saying that he didn't need his help in the first place. Then back it up, the man yelled, anger twisting his face. The orc's axe came down on the raider's neck. Terror widened his eyes, until Captain Yun charged in, bashing the orc's face with his shield and sending it flying. Debris scattered everywhere. Wake up! Captain Yun barked, scanning the bickering pair. The raider, trembling, apologized. The others praised Captain Yun's skill. Step back, I'll handle this one, the captain announced. The orc roared in its guttural tongue. Steel clashed. Captain Yun stabbed, blood dripping from the creature's chest. Is that all you've got? He barked. Sang Yun observed quietly, analyzing. The captain, around level 50, was strong, but Sang Yun could tell the orc's vital spots weren't being hit efficiently. The orc raised its axe again. Captain Yun dodged, parried, and countered with sheer precision. Finally, with a massive thud, the orc collapsed. Piece of cake, the captain said, laughing nervously, sweat beading on his forehead. Everyone okay? Hell yeah, the raiders shouted. But then, a scream echoed. From the distance, a massive horde of orcs appeared, towering over the group. Red skin, scars, bulging veins, glowing red eyes, wielding deadly weapons. High orcs! Someone yelled. Armored ones too! Another shouted, fear in their voice. Captain Yun froze. One orc was tough enough. Now they were being swarmed. Should they retreat? Safety was uncertain. What kind of dungeon was this? From behind, Sang Yun approached. Captain, mind if I give it a shot? Shock rippled through the group. Anger, disbelief, confusion. He's lost it, muttered one raider. Another said, I'll knock some sense into him. Before the captain could react, Sang Yun charged. In one swift motion, he cut down a high orc, then another. Debris flew, blood splattered. The raiders behind him froze, unable to comprehend what they were seeing. A system notification appeared. Congratulations, you have leveled up. Sang Yun thought, is it because my level's still low? That orc felt kind of weak. Player info. Name, Sang Yun Shin. Level, 2. Title, None. Constellation, None. Unique skill, Devour Artifact. Number of artifacts devoured, 1. HP, 220. MP, 22. EXP, 40. The remaining orcs' expressions shifted from devious grins to rage. They charged. Sang Yun planted his greatsword firmly. Even though I'm low level, I have experience. He slashed through 2 at once. Do you know how many of you ugly brutes I've killed in my youth? He muttered, cutting down the orc shaman. The raiders behind him were frozen in disbelief. A rookie? Just awakened? Impossible. Finally, only the armored orc remained. Towering, shield in one hand, massive weapon in the other, thick armor gleaming. It rushed, roaring. Sang Yun met its charge, dodging to the left, the orc slashing with precision. Captain Yun screamed that the orc's armor is too thick for Sang Yun. A system notification popped. Demon Bash, Level 1, activated. Hidden skill, status, stun. Cooldown, 15 seconds, same target. Stuns monsters or opposing players for 2 seconds. Success depends on target resistance. Sung Yoon grinned. Good boy, now stay still. In an instant, the armored orc's head flew, blood everywhere. The raiders were stunned into silence. Even the captain could not believe it. A stun skill, and an armored orc at that. A rookie? Another notification appeared. Congratulations, you have leveled up. Conditions fulfilled for title acquisition. Acquired F-tier title, Fearless Puppy. Effect, +5 evasion. Another bonus point appeared. Sang Yoon, thinking to his past life, selected Luck, knowing its effect on skill success and drop rates. Ding! Luck slightly increased. Captain Yoon finally approached, eyes wide. Are you really a newbie? That's stun. Where did you even get that skill? Sang Yoon smiled faintly. I got it when I awakened. He laughed lightly, hiding the truth of his time rewind. Another raider pointed at his weapon. It's the weapon. It must be diamond tier or higher. While another asks which MeTube video taught Sun Yoon those skills. Sang Yoon handed his greatsword to the captain. Take a look if you like. Captain Yoon examined it. System notification popped up. Faded greatsword, normal artifact, two-handed weapon, attack +50, effect, none. Nothing special? The captain exclaimed in horror. It's all just skill? The raiders murmured. Level 2, awakened, and that skill? A new scream rang out. A member of the part informed the captain that the mini-boss had spawned. Captain Yoon looked ahead, his mind racing. He calmly stated to the raid party that Sung Yoon had cleared the trash mobs, but now the real challenge was coming. Sung Yoon's face shifted to a grin. He had joined this party with a purpose, and now it was time to show the real reason. Captain Yoon, he asked. Captain Yoon smirked, eyes narrowing. If you're scared, stay at the back. Sun Yoon ignored his words and asked, if I take this demon orc down myself, can I claim the artifact? Stating that the captain himself split the loot by contribution.